Oh, it's the cold open. It's Mock Draft Live, and we've got a full crew of people in here today. We have Tyler Knably at PPR Tyler, Jason Alwine at JFootball Alwine, right?
JFootball Wine.
JFootball Wine. I knew it was something like that. And then Matt Babbage at Babbage_Matt10. And myself, Seth Dewald, at Seth_Dewald on Twitter, here today to do an Underdog best ball draft, the big board, playing for how much money, Tyler, can we win in the big board?
200K.
200.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna win the 200K right now. So you're welcome, America. So do we have our Underdog? Do we have it pulled up? Are we all ready to join so we can all get in the same draft?
I am hovering over the big board, ready to go here.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready. If you guys are,
Okay. I'm ready.
I'll do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, enter.
All right. Fetching the draft.
Uh-oh, did we all get it? Uh-oh.
Are we not good?
I have waiting for 10 people.
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm in a room.
All right.
I got
Here.
Seth in here, though. Seth's in here.
Here, no, I'll get out of this. Or I'll do 2 drafts at once.
Oh, nice. Here we go. That's
Nice.
what we need.
Here, we're waiting for 10 people. So
Wait, 9? I think am I not in here? I feel like I have to be.
No, I think you and I are in the same one.
Yeah, I'm actually in a draft.
All right, we'll leave it and then join ours. We got 8.
All right.
Boys, I don't have $10 more.
You can leave the draft and get the $10 back. Oh, the draft already kicked off?
Yeah,
I think they must have been like the last 2 in their draft. And we were the first 2 in ours. This has never happened to me before. I feel like usually it's like
I have a 100% success rate.
people were like eager to draft today, I guess. But let's see. So I think I'm in the draft now. I'm in 2 at once. I can give you guys an update of how mine's going. If you
Well,
want.
now what do we do?
just tune in.
Yeah,
By the way,
I've
I
got
just got
autopilot
Derrick
on.
Henry at a 20 pick ADP value. It's kind of crazy. If you look where Derrick Henry was going, because I was looking back at some old teams because I was curious about some of the ADP value. Derrick Henry was going as I think it's the RB 51, when the contest opened. And right now he is his ADP is 39. So it's like a 20 pick swing after he signed with the Ravens. And it always felt like he was going to sign with a contender. So I feel like the people who draft Henry in the beginning were just that was a really sharp pick. That was one of the big ones where Henry rose a lot, Josh Jacobs rose a lot. So I think taking the strategy, obviously before free agency, take a shot on some of these free agent running backs because you got to think they're going to go to good teams.
Yeah, man.
Well, there's only one spot left. I'm trying to fund it. Okay. Oh, wait, 2
my
people. Play now. NFL, big board, enter. Oh,
I think you're in. I think we're good.
Are
Thank
we
you,
all
Alvin.
in the same one?
I think I'm in.
Here we go.
Oh shit! I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
I turned
there.
autopilot on for the other one, so
Tyler
I hope I don't bother
Knably is
anyone.
on.
There we go.
The Matt Bab Chiff is in there.
Oh, you guys are all drafting kind of next to each
Got
other.
my
1-8,
8.
110, 112. I'm the 105.
All right. I don't mind the 1-8. Let me ask you this question. How in the world? Well, I guess your rankings are different, Tyler. How in the world is Bijan Robinson down in the ADP?
I would say these aren't my rankings. This is just the normal ADP or whatever.
Is
So
my ADP
he must
different?
I don't know because Bijan Robinson is usually not. But I think I drafted yesterday and he was not at the 5 pick. So this must have happened in the last 24 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We have click farms out there, out in Baghdad that are pushing up Bijan Robinson's ADP.
He was 110, 111 when the contest opened. So he's steamed up 5 picks in the first round, which is crazy.
I think that's where he belongs, to be honest. That pick 5 or 6.
There's I think you would take Breece Hall over Bijan.
I mean, I think it's a toss-up. I mean, I would probably prefer Bijan, but I mean, I was getting him at pick 8 or 9 last week, and now he's up to pick 5. So I feel like I think that's corrected correctly. corrected correctly. What do you guys think of Bijan at pick 5? Would you draft him there? Are you going to draft him here at pick 5, Tyler?
I'm looking to get. We'll see. I mean, we'll see who at Jamar. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson. I think I'm just still gonna be. This is what I've been doing on my channel at PPR Tyler. Shameless plug. Anyways, I've been drafting Justin Jefferson just because he is the focal point of that offense. This Kevin O'Connell, I get the quarterback's different, Kirk Cousins, but if you look back at the game logs when Kirk was out and he had some of those starts with Nick Mullins, I think the first start when he came back from his injury was with Dobbs, and he threw him. It was against the Raiders. He threw him like a hospital ball over the middle. He got killed, so he was like out of that game immediately. But then you look at like some of the targets and some of the receptions he had with Mullins, and it was like he was still putting up big stats. Like I think he got a touchdown in like 3 of his last 4 games. I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but it was like he was still getting those targets that you saw from him, even when Kirk was his quarterback. So I'm still going to bet on just that. Like Kevin O'Connell comes from that Rand system, and like the first year Kevin O'Connell got there, Justin Jefferson's the number 1 wide receiver overall, right? Because they used him like they used Cooper Kupp in Los Angeles. The same things happen in Minnesota. Yes, that maybe there's not as many like touchdowns. The quarterback isn't as good. The offense isn't as good, but I mean, he's still going to be the number 1 guy there, especially with Hawkinson maybe missing the first month of the season, probably with the ACL. I'm still on Justin Jefferson. He's their best player on offense by far.
Well, and they're gonna draft a quarterback. I don't know if that quarterback's gonna start right away, but they're clearly loading up on their ammunition on these first round picks to try to move up in the draft, probably to get JJ McCarthy. It's pretty predictable. And so, yeah, the law of what is it? The Tom Savage corollary. Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the National Football League. So he's going to get open. Who do you think Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy is going to be targeting, especially without Hawkinson? You broke it down pretty well there. It's going to be Justin Jefferson. And I actually got him. I was doing a big board on Sunday night, and I got him at pick 8, and I was thrilled about it. I thought it was a no-brainer pick. And, yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm totally fine with him in the top 5. That's probably where he should go. I know the quarterback situation's got some people freaked out, but whatever. I think Justin Jefferson's a fine pick there, sir.
I hate my team. I'll tell you guys that much.
You made 1 pick. How can you hate your team after 1 pick?
I made 2, and I hate both of them.
Well,
how'd that happen? How did you make 2 picks that you hate?
I'm a masochist, dude. I did. No, I've never been great under pressure, and the 30 seconds, just every time it gets to me. I don't hate it necessarily. Garrett Wilson over AJ Brown was what I was struggling over, and I think if I could hit the reset button, I might start with AJ Brown. But I do believe that there's more in Aaron Rodgers' tank than people may be talking about. Maybe I'm talking just to Seth here on this one, but.
Oh, you mean the vice presidential tank?
Yeah. Well, if he's on a ticket with Robert Kennedy, there's never been anything more sure in life than Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing quarterback for the Jets.
Well, you never know. You never know.
I'll tell you what. I mean, if anyone could break the 2-party system, I guess what's going to be solved first? 2 high safeties or the 2-party system? Like that's what we're betting on here at this point with Rodgers being.
We're not losing the 2-party system.
But and then Kyren Williams was sitting there. I just think there's going to be a lot of regression coming to this Rams offense, and that's why I'm a little scared of Puka and Kyren at cost. I just feels like we're betting on the same type of efficiency to happen again, and that's just generally a losing bet. So I don't love Kyren at running back 5. Almost picked Marvin Harrison Jr., but I like the stability knowing where Nico Collins is and who he's going to be with and seeing those spike weeks come from last season.
Yeah, Kyren Williams. I think it's like a different game. Like Matt Babich and I specialize in Dynasty with the Dynasty Roundtable. And in Dynasty, I don't know if Kyren Williams is being valued as like a mid-second round pick in a best ball league. I could be wrong, I guess. But I guess my guess is if you looked it up on the Trade Finder, like you'd see like a single first round pick, like maybe mid first round pick for Kyron Williams is probably fair if I had to guess, especially in a draft where like there's not a plethora of elite running backs. But to take him in mid-second, I see his ADP's already falling. Mid-second scares me. Same thing with Devon Achane. Like, he's got to prove that he can be healthy and stay on the field. Like, if you can score 50 points in 1 week, that's great. That's amazing, and you're a fantastic player. But man, I don't know. Mid-second for what do you guys think? Are you guys cool mid-second with Achane, or am I overreacting?
I'm not cool with it. I don't have a lot of Achane because kind of what you described, like Raheem Mostert is still on the roster, and I get the age part of it too, but it's like Achane got hurt last year. Like that was always a concern at his weight, at his size. Like, is this guy, can he be a workhorse back? And right now he's being drafted like he's going to be, but are we 100% sure he's going to play 15, 16 games a season? Especially with Mostert there, who's coming off 20 touchdowns. He's on a good contract. It's like, I just have a hard time believing, okay, now we're just going to give it to Achane like after what Mostert did last year. Like Mostert, maybe he's never been the most healthy guy ever. Let me make my pick real quick. This is a no-brainer, I think. I'm going to go Rashee Rice. Okay. But yeah, just that's kind of where I stand on Achane. I have a little bit of him because I want to be exposed to most players, but I'm not super I'm not rushing to the podium to draft Achane.
Achane, can we talk about that?
What is
Achane?
I got Achane and Achane from Seth and Tyler respectively. I'm pretty sure it's Achane.
It's Achane.
It's Achane.
It's Achane?
Yeah, I messed up.
Achane. It's like he came out and said it's Achane, and I don't even think it's Devon. I think it's just Devin. Like,
yeah, it's Devin.
it was like there used to be a flair to the name. And here's the deal.
Yeah, now there's no shot he's worth the mid-second round pick. His name is Devin.
Devin Achane instead of Devon Achane.
That's so
like,
softless.
It changes things. It changes things.
Jason, are you Scroodle?
I am, yeah.
Can we talk about your awesome start to this draft?
Yeah, I would love to. I have never had the chance to get CeeDee Lamb, so I said screw it. It was him or Jamar Chase for me. But, at pick 3 to take CeeDee Lamb, I'll do it. Tyreek Hill was taken before that. I think, especially with the next wide receiver I got, Drake London, and the one after that, Michael Pittman, I'm going to have a solid option to stack with either of these wide receivers, probably 2 of them with a budget option. So I'm pretty excited to see how the rest of my team goes. I've got 3 true alphas. So I mean, especially in a 3 wide receiver format, I feel pretty good about that start. I'm not going to lie. I think Michael Pittman is a severely undervalued player. We saw the connection with him and Anthony Richardson. Literally his first game, Anthony Richardson's first game, it was like 9 targets out the gate to Michael Pittman. And it's just going to be like that. There's not a lot of weapons on the Colts. They just gave him the bag. I'm expecting big things from Pittman. So I think he's a big steal. And then, of course, Drake London, probably another big riser with Kirk Cousins. I don't think his ADP's caught up to it yet. So I love it. I love it.
So you went, let me look at your draft. You went Pittman,
CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Michael Pittman.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. Drake London is one of those post-NFL free agency risers for sure.
Right.
Darnell Mooney is somebody who I'm really going to be high on because of that offense, because of what he was able to do in 2021. But Darnell Mooney's not a guy who's going to take a ton of targets away from Drake London. Like, it is absolutely set up for Drake London to smash this year for sure. So definitely
sold my soul for a Houston Texans stack.
Oh, there we go. Let's go.
That's probably a rare stack, right? Or
I thought there is
Nacua.
zero chance he makes it all the way back to me at 58. That's right.
No,
at
you take the
ADP.
reach.
And I know there's like a lot of math involved that will probably tell you that was a minus EV decision, but sometimes I don't know how many times you're going to be able to pull off Collins, Dell, and Stroud.
Not often. I love that. You could probably even get Schultz later.
Got on Dell. What was it?
What's that?
What's the ADP value got on them? Was it? Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. I was just seeing what the.
I think I got him right at ADP. There maybe was a couple people taken after him,
Gotcha.
typically go before him. But I think Collins and Dell are right at ADP. I think all three are right at ADP, but it's going to be really tough to manage to swing all three.
All right, I'm about to be on the clock here, and I'm thinking. Actually, no, I forgot I had Josh Allen. I would go Mahomes here to stack with Rice, but I'm not thinking that anymore. There's a guy that is always in my draft room. His Underdog username is Hit Him With the Gritty 18, and he likes to go triple elite quarterback. He'll draft the first 3 quarterbacks off the board, and he's a psychopath. I don't think I'm going to do that here. I think I might just go Kupp, man. I think there's a strong possibility he could just out. Am I crazy to think that he could have a better year than Puka? Is that crazy?
No, it's not crazy.
I don't
at
think
all.
it is.
No, it's
Puka
really
goes
not.
in the first round. That's what I have. I just drafted my first Puka team 2 days ago, and I couldn't feel better about it. I just feel like Cooper Kupp should be closer. I think they should both be kind of third round picks. They should go right after. I think they're 1A, 1B. I don't really see it as Puka is just the number one guy in this offense. Not Stafford and Cooper Kupp have a podcast together. I think that's worth noting. I think I remember seeing that and I was like, why didn't I know this before the season? I feel like I should have known that. I don't know.
But Puka's in the breakfast committee, so it's a menage a trois, as the kids say.
Yeah.
I think Cooper Kupp, wasn't he if memory serves correct, he was coming back from an ACL injury late in the year, and it took him a while to get up to speed. Or am I tripping?
High ankle sprain in the training camp last year.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I knew.
Yeah. Hamstring sprain. He had a right high ankle sprain at the end of 2022. A hamstring strain going into 2023 where he missed 4 games, and then also had an ankle sprain in week 11. May have been the same ankle as 2022. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, so a lot of people are predicting the demise of Cooper Kupp, but now I think the focus of the defense, what you would think, now that Puka Nacua has emerged, that can only be a good thing for Cooper Kupp, right? Especially with the connection with Matt Stafford. It's also, fourth round Cooper Kupp's kind of crazy. He was he was pick 5 last year. He was a top 5 pick in the same format.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because if you draft at the beginning up here, you could literally start your draft Tyreek. You can go Tyreek, Stephon Diggs, and then you can maybe be able to get Kelsey and Kupp or something like that, which are that's 4 guys who were going in the first round last season, and you could start your draft like that. That's something I'd like to do, where it's I can get 2 guys who were both top 8 picks last year, and it's that. I know they had down years, there's a reason they're going later, but it's just I can talk myself into it a little bit more because they were going really high in 2023.
Yeah, and you think especially Cooper Kupp, his game definitely translates to production later in his career. We can easily say injuries were the reason for last. You could say it's a cop out, but it happened. And you could say that's a reason why Puka Nacua emerged as a player. Now, I'm not saying Puka Nacua is not a good player, because he is, but if you're asking me, do I want Puka Nacua in the first round or do I want Cooper Kupp in the 4th round? I'll take Cooper Kupp in the 4th round, and I don't think it's much of a debate, at least for me. You got a little Jaden Reed or George Pickens here?
Trey McBride, do it.
It's gonna
sack up.
I was looking at McBride too. I'm looking at McLaurin or Kirk, man. I love both of these guys. It's close. I'm gonna go McLaurin in this one. I got a huge Kirk bag, so I'm gonna go McLaurin. My thought with McLaurin is, I just think about what the Cliff Kingsbury offense has looked like. So we go back to Arizona. So DeAndre Hopkins is there, and he has a crazy season. He just gets targeted a ton, and you could be like, Tyler, well, he's was one of the top 3 receivers in the league at that time. Okay, sure. But then he has the PED suspension. He's gone the first 6 games. And Marquise Hollywood Brown, who he's been okay in his career. Before Hopkins came back and he got hurt that season too. But over the first 6 or 7 games, Marquise Brown was the wide receiver 7, and the other names in that category were Jefferson, Chase, Waddle, Hill, just elite guys. So I think Kingsbury is going to do what none of these other Washington OCs play callers have done, and it's going to be get the ball to the best player on offense, which is Terry McLaurin. So that's just it's more of a Kingsbury bet than it is a McLaurin bet. I guess you could say it's both, but I'm really high on McLaurin this year.
Who do you think's playing quarterback there? Drake May?
I think it's gonna be Jaden Daniels, right? Isn't that the way the wind's blowing these days? I mean, it's between May and Dan. I started off drafting so much like May with McLaurin because I thought May was a lock to go to. But then you start listening to like Todd McShay saying at the combine, he's like Jaden Daniels, like what I heard of the combine, he's gonna go number 2. So then I was like, okay, now I gotta draft some McLaurin Daniels share. So I don't know which maybe it could change tomorrow. Who really knows?
I feel like Kamara's undervalued. What do you guys think?
100% undervalued.
I think that's I don't want to draft Kamara. And hey guys, do you want to draft Alvin Kamara? Right here.
That's more of a.
I think Alvin.
That's more of a man. I think Kamara's undervalued. I'm not sure if I'm going to take him with this pick. But
yep. Here we go. Yeah, I don't think he's properly valued. Oh, there he did it. He did it just to prove a point.
No, I was sitting there. I was considering him over Aaron Jones in my previous pick, and I said I'm gonna hit Jones because I do have a little bit more faith in him as it stands right this second. But as I'm referencing player profilers rankings and just kind of looking at ADP, I'm sitting there going like, are we doing this same dance with Kamara again for no reason? I mean, he was the RB3 in fantasy points per game last year. He's still not 29 years old, and this Saints team is basically a carbon copy of what it was last year. I don't know about you guys, but if I see anyone hyping up Kendre Miller on my timeline, I laugh and continue to scroll. If Kendre Miller were any good, we would have seen it by now. And it's not like Kamara was this huge rushing threat, like ripping off long runs. No. So if Kendre Miller was a better rusher, we would have seen it by now. And just seems like we're on the path to Kamara being one of the biggest values at the RB position again. And I'm willing to take this because if the Saints don't touch a running back in the draft, I feel like we're going to see it rise a little bit.
Sativa might be on the Sativa because this brother's got 4 running backs and a tight end, no receivers yet through 6 rounds.
Oh no!
Goes Kenneth Walker. I'm gonna go Kincaid. That's an easy pick for me.
Good stack.
Kenneth Walker is one of the biggest values in drafts right now.
Oh,
I can't wrap my head around why he's not in like the second, third round, to be completely honest with you. He's a true bell cow on an offense that's going to run the ball a shit ton. And he's incredibly explosive with one of the best profiles in the entire NFL. We've seen it time and time again from him. I have no idea why he's going in the 6th round right now. I was really hoping he'd continue to sneak to me. I can't believe it. We've done the song and dance with Zach Charbonnet before. He's not a good player. Not compared to Kenneth Walker. You're bringing in a defensive coordinator to be a head coach now. They're going to run the ball a lot. The quarterback has a massive question mark. I know the wide receivers are there, but I love myself some Kenneth Walker. Can't get him. And I'm going to go ahead and just do some whatever best ball moves here. I got Anthony Richardson last time to go with Pittman. I'll get Dak Prescott to go with CD and see how the rest of the draft falls to me.
This is the RB alive zone, like starting at James Cook. I feel like we're getting a lot of good value on some of these players all the way through Walker. And we still have David Montgomery, who was very effective last year. Ramondre Stevenson, who doesn't technically really have any competition yet. Or besides Antonio Gibson, just depending on how you feel about him. Pollard, who there's debate on who you want there at cost, but I'm willing to get some exposure in best ball to Tony Pollard. Shout out to Theo in the chat who agrees with me, Kamara at ADP. And Jason does love himself some Kenneth Walker. He was in like that trio to me of Jones, Kamara, and Walker made it really hard because I wanted to walk out of there with 2 running backs, but deciding on the 2.
I'm surprised you didn't go Mixon there. Just get all the text.
Again, thought about it. And then at a certain point, you become overexposed.
Yeah.
And what worries me is the fact that you have an established pass catching, pass blocking running back that's already coming back, who was pretty efficient carrying the ball last year. And so Singletary actually does worry me into being a thorn in the side of Joe Mixon That being said, it is best ball, so you want to get the spike weeks. So he was a consideration there for sure.
What about Joe Mixon in the sixth? Like, how did Joe Mixon lose ADP by going to the Houston Texans?
Yeah, I don't get it.
He was the RB6 last year.
Probably just because of snap projections.
Maybe. Is he going to lose snaps to your favorite guy, Dameon Pierce?
I mean, Devin Singletary.
Didn't he sign somewhere else?
No, he came back to Houston, I thought.
They were the Giants.
Singletary? No, he's in
he did go to New York.
Yeah, he's a Giant.
Yeah.
Well, shows you how tapped in this guy is.
You're more tapped in
The
than
30-second timer strikes again.
Oh my gosh.
You're more tapped in than Sativa right here. I'll tell you that.
If he goes another running back, I mean, what do we even do? Okay.
That's fine.
He
Brian
goes
Thomas,
P12.
wide receiver 1. I mean, I see the vision.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I necessarily change directions if I go back and know that information, but I'm definitely more tempted. And it definitely makes the whole Joe Mixon ADP even more perplexing because even with Singletary, I still don't think the ADP makes sense.
No, it's
it's six. I mean, I love you, Jason, but Kenneth Walker doesn't get nearly the passing volume that Joe Mixon does, and they're going around the same. Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying you're wrong about Kenneth Walker. I'm not saying you're wrong about Kenneth Walker, but to me, it's Joe Mixon.
I mean, Kenneth Walker's still like 200 yards receiving in back-to-back seasons, still gets those screens and is explosive with it. And I mean, for all the ways that Joe Mixon is a better receiver, Kenneth Walker is that as Joe Mixon as a runner. Like, he just multiplied. Like, one of the best rushers in the league, if not the best, just pure running back in the league. Like, he may not get as many receptions, but he's going to have 60-yard runs frequently next season. He's just that explosive of a running back. And I really I can't wrap my head around the ADP. I really, really can't.
No, I think it, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, I'd say in 6th round, Kenneth Walker, sign me up for it. Just like 7th round, right where he belongs, just like it's right where he belonged last year when everybody was taking him in the 3rd, 2nd round. Oh, praise Jesus. The Christian Watson lovers out there were so wrong. This is the year, everyone. Seth's hopping back on the Christian Watson bandwagon, and this is good value. With Jordan Love, number 1 receiver in an ascending offense, sign me up, baby.
So
I'm on Christian Watson.
I was 100% with you last year in that thing. Like, I did not see the vision with Christian Watson, and I went the other way where I've said on stream multiple times, Christian Watson will be the one player in best ball I will have a 0 of. It's very rare for me to hand out a 0, but I will have 0 of Christian Watson because is he even the number 1 on that team? It feels like it's Jaden Reed right now. And who's to say if they bring anybody else, then if they draft anybody else, like, yeah, people like Dontavian Wicks, but is he like, do they like him more than maybe a rookie that's coming out this year? I think it's just like there's about to be a ton of wide receiver rooms that are gonna get just decimated by the draft. And what we think it looks like, we thought Keenan Allen was safe on the Chargers and he gets traded to the Bears the next day because they like these receivers in this draft so much. So I think the wide receiver, this draft class of wide receivers could have such a huge impact on just like redraft and dynasty overall. Like, it's going to change a lot of things because there's people are talking about what best receiver draft class since that 2014, Mike Evans, 2014, I think, like that draft class with OBJ and all those guys. But I don't know. I can't get there with Christian Watson. It sucks because I do like Jordan Love, but I also don't like Jaden Reed where the other players are around, or where like the other players going around Jaden Reed. So I don't have a lot of Green Bay like Jordan Love stacks, unfortunately, but we'll see. We'll see what that looks like come August.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's kind of where I thought last year Christian Watson should be when everybody and their mom and their brother and were telling me no set. Alan Seslowsky came on the Dynasty Roundtable and was like, oh, Christian Watson, Memphis, everybody. Anyway, I was right. They were wrong. But anyway, but as your wide receiver 4 or 5, like the risk to me, like this year in the 7th round, I'm fine with it. Like, I totally understand what you're saying. He could definitely be a nothing burger again with the injuries. This is a huge risk, but 3rd round, no. 7th round, I'm perfectly fine taking the risk there. and he's like on this team that I'm building, he's my wide receiver 5. Totally good with it. But yeah, some of this ADP doesn't make sense to me. Like, just, I don't know. How are we drafting Calvin Ridley before DeAndre Hopkins? Like, does this make sense to you guys, or am I losing it, or what's
They should
going on?
They should be about dead even.
That's what
Calvin Ridley is probably going to get more targets and yards, maybe. The spike weeks, I think, will be the big question. But I don't think you pay Calvin Ridley that much and not, kind of heavily feed him. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting offense.
It's like I always said, you don't sign Nelson Aguilar to that much if you're not gonna feed him.
Hey, I mean, he fed for some reason 1 touchdown every season in his career.
The contract, in my opinion, the contract was, we have a cap floor that we have to hit. We have so much cap space. We have the second most cap space through the next 5 seasons. We gotta spend it somewhere, and we need to prove if Will Levis is the guy as soon as we possibly can. So this guy's in a bidding war with New England, who has a crap ton of cap space, in Jacksonville. Let's do what we need to do to secure him so that we have 0 questions surrounding Will Levis when the judgment day comes. And I think it was actually a rather smart move.
Jason, can you break down the Nick Chubb thing for me? Because I kind of want more more just an opinion on what other people feel about Nick Chubb, because he got the knee thing, and it's just what are your thoughts on Nick Chubb?
Yeah, I think that's a steal, honestly. This is another guy that's going to be a total bell cow next year. Well, I don't know. Jerome Ford is still there, but I still think he's really explosive. Who knows how much still explosive he'll be, but Adrian Peterson, not saying he's Adrian Peterson, especially not in the prime of his career anymore, but he still had the ACL tear, came back the next season and won the MVP as a running back. Still had one of his best seasons off of it. And I know the Nick Chubb injury looked scary when it happened, and everything out was that he's like torn all 3 ligaments, and it was scary. He might not be able to walk again, but then both surgeries were very, very successful, and it was done quickly. He's going to be ready for week 1. And I'll take a chance on that, because I'm honestly still not that big of a believer in Deshaun Watson. And I know that the Browns offense is still going to run through Nick Chubb. And at that range, I'm not really comfortable enough with taking the chance on Javonte Williams to get burned again. Or James Conner was the one I was debating, just because, I mean, he's just one of those guys that he's another, he gets all the volume on that offense from the running back position, and just consistently produces at his with his volume and at his ADP. But I won't take the chance on Chubb. I feel like that's especially like if you were to look at it from the lens of last year and to just see like Nick Chubb is my RB1 that late, like I would feel pretty comfortable about it.
Yeah, I mean, players like, I mean, he tore his ACL real early. I know it was a pretty gruesome injury, but was it week 2? Week 2, and today's 2024, where people are coming back from 6 months from an ACL. Now, I know it depends on the severity of the injury, and I'm not pretending to be a doctor, but if there was anybody built to come back from an ACL injury, it would be like a running back like Nick Chubb. So getting him in the 7th round, or where was he drafted? 7th, 8th round?
Pick 94, so whatever that is.
8th round.
Wow. Yeah. As an RB, as your potential RB2, or he could think about it.
Running back drafted, but
Nick Chubb, if you want to get real risky, and Lord knows I like to get risky, he could be your hero running back.
That's what I just did.
Hero RB with Nick Chubb. Did we ever think it would happen? I know I know he's coming off the injury.
Happen.
You're not a Nick Chubb believer? Or are we throwing him in the JJ McCarthy pile?
No, not really. It's just it would be a miracle if a 29-year-old running back who's had like 3 major knee reconstructions is confident in his knee by week 1 and like ready to go. Pollard took till week 11 until he felt well from his recovery. I know, completely different injury, but that's the only thing I'm worried about. Is like, I think Nick Chubb at 100% can still be good. You just don't know when or if you're going to get it. And we don't know what's going to happen in the draft for Cleveland. So I'd be willing to risk a little bit of a value loss by waiting and seeing kind of what happens there. Oh, what do I do here? Josh Downs.
It's a good pick. I thought you were going to go Romeo Dubs. I thought you were going to go with the Dubs.
Never.
Man.
I
Can
will
we
probably
talk
never
about-
do that.
Can we talk about Justin Herbert?
Yes,
Like,
I would.
yeah.
I would love to.
I'm still not sure where I stand. That's why I asked, because I am just a huge Justin Herbert believer, or I guess just I love him. Like I'm a big fan of his. I don't even say believer, but just do you guys think at QB 12 like has it gone too far?
Nope. The Chargers are going to stink.
What?
They are going to stink. They are
Oh
going
my
to be one of the
God.
worst 7-10 teams that we've ever seen. They're probably gonna win some
Flip
games. They're gonna be.
But what does that
fighting.
mean for fantasy though? Like you can be 7-10 and score points.
Negative game scripts. I bet their offense is
Hmm.
bottom half, but top 20 in terms of total offense. They are heavily signaling what they want to do, and it is not
Yeah.
a fantasy-friendly offense. It's
Feels like
Greg
our-
Roman.
Well, then
Yeah.
then there's no way out of this. You've pinned yourself into the Gus Edwards corner.
I
It-
mean,
It's the Blake Cole.
It has to be.
I'm not saying the strategy that they're going after is going to be effective. I'm saying it's clear that that's what they're doing, and it's not going to work. They're going to stink.
Where is Gus Edwards going in these drafts?
And he's not going to have anyone to throw to. If you can see it, like I just don't know how you can take Herbert over Lawrence right now. I don't know how you can take Herbert over Cousins right now.
No, that there's no really argument for it. That's I just think it's an interesting question because I mean, going into this season, I mean, Tyler,
I
you've been doing
agree.
this for a minute. What was he? QB 7 in ADP? Gone down to 12? I don't know.
There's so many good receivers in this draft. They could take Malik Neighbors
I'll
Dunze.
take Herbert if they take like
or a Dunze, or heck, Marvin Harrison Jr. could be there if it goes quarterback. Probably not, but
So I'll ask you this: are you going to solo Justin Herbert in underdog drafts before we know who he's playing with? Without and that by that I mean you're not taking neighbors, you're not taking anybody who might get drafted by the Chargers. You're just taking Justin Herbert because he's QB 12. Are we doing that yet with the uncertainty?
well,
No, that's what I'm sitting here. I'm about to pick, and I know I have two quarterbacks. It's still kind of enticing, but I think the only reason you take Justin Herbert is if you like have like a really strong inkling about what wide receiver they can pick. Like I have a Dunze, and I think right now that's who they're going to pick. I'm gonna get a running back here, but I think I think he's worth go. I think he's right about where he's at. I think now that I've talked myself into it. I've watched it happen. I think he should be going right before Trevor Lawrence. Maybe right after Trevor Lawrence. I think that is the cutoff.
If we look at the 112, he started off with Taylor and Barkley, went
Mhm.
Neighbors, Higgins, Reed, Ridley, Jordan Love, David Njoku, and then on the 108, 109 turn, he took Singletary and Gabe Davis. I would have taken Justin Herbert there. Because if Neighbors gets drafted to the Chargers, both of those picks will be unattainable where you just got them.
Right.
So if I'm pairing them with Neighbors or somebody that they might draft, I will definitely take Herbert at that price. But I won't solo Justin Herbert without having any other information. Damn it.
Oh,
but
please.
Justin,
Oh, who did that?
Me.
Kirk?
You have Drake
I have
London.
all
You have
of
Drake
my-
London. I should have
Oh.
known that was coming, but that
Boy.
sucks.
Oh, you guys are going to be screwed if Hawkinson falls right here. Let's tell you that right now.
That was who I was debating between. I think, especially, well, you got Justin Jefferson, right?
Yeah.
That's good for you. I think that's a good bet. Both of those players are going to get a ton of volume
Oh,
next year.
baby. Come on. Fire me the hell up.
So, Tyler, where are you at with Addison?
Addison, yeah. See, I think Addison had a little too many touchdowns last year, and it's kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm not going to say the cliche thing. I'm not going to say it, but I do think Addison was fine when it was Cousins there. You knew the passing volume was going to be high. Addison's like debatably the third receiving option in that offense. And I think with it's going to be lower quarterback play this year, probably no matter what, than what Kirk gave them last year. So I think that kind of takes away some of where the number 3 last year is not going to be good as the number 3 this year. And maybe he was a rookie last year. Maybe he gets better. Maybe he comes at number 2. And Hawkinson is out probably the first month. But I'm not as high on him. I don't think the community is either, because if you look where he went, he usually goes around. Where is he? He's right. Yeah, this Jaden Reed. So when Jaden Reed, Ridley, and Addison, and it feels kind of right. Like, would you rather have Marquise Brown, Deontay Johnson, or Godwin over Jordan Addison?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go.
Seth, how do you look at yourself? How do you sleep at night?
Oh, with
How do you sleep at night?
You got enough
with
Texans.
a pillow tucked in between my legs and a couple, I don't know, like just under a blanket.
Those are fighting words.
What did I do? What did I do to mortally offend you?
You
I've
took
been
my-
listening to your double talk all night. All right.
You took
I don't want
my
to hear
fourth
any of your
Houston
sass.
Texan away from me.
Yeah, I know. How is it like? I don't know. I kind of call me crazy. Like TJ Hawkinson's coming off of a late season ACL. I mean, he's probably going to miss a few weeks, I would guess, right?
See, but that's so my thinking with Hawkinson. I almost exclusively will draft it when I have another tight end. So like I have Kincaid in this instance.
So
So
you're
I
gonna patch it. You're gonna patch it. That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. Because it's like with players like we were talking about Herbert earlier and Hawkinson, I can't imagine their value going much lower, which makes me want to draft them.
Right.
Like that's just kind of how I feel. Like I can't imagine like whoever was listening to me and took Gus Edwards. I don't know how this backfield does not involve a heavy dose of Gus Edwards in an offense with Justin Herbert. I don't like however you feel about Gus Edwards as a player, whatever. Baltimore should have used him more in that playoff game. I think they gave him like 3 carries against the Chiefs, which is criminal. Whoever was designing that game plan should have, I don't know, at least taking some lashings. Verbally or something. It didn't make any sense to me. But Gus Edwards, they're not going to sign a free agent. All the free agents are gone. This is not a deep running back class. Even if they draft a rookie, how is that rookie not going to, basically 50-50 at best with Gus Edwards? Like the running back depth chart was terrible behind Austin Eckler. Man, I Gus Edwards is feels just way too cheap.
They're going to draft a running back.
Yeah, but even if they do, even if they take, Blake Corum or Trey Benson or somebody like that, Gus Edwards this is Greg Roman, baby. They're still going to run the ball.
Yeah. I mean, Gus the Bus has made a living off of vulturing those touchdowns, huh?
Yeah, he's this generation's Mike Tolbert. He's the 2024 version of Mike Tolbert.
It's a good one. Good pull.
Let's talk about the thumbnail of the show, Justin Fields. I thought he would be in the 18th round by now. He's I think his ADP is obviously still coming down, but people will take him round 15 ahead of guys maybe Deshaun Watson or something like that. And it's
people think he's better than Russell Wilson and that he's going to eventually start. That's what's happening here.
He will.
He's going to play 49% of the snaps.
You're on OTC, bro. Tyler.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm looking.
Try not to rush you or hurry you at all. But yeah, Justin Fields, man. Is there seriously, is there a better franchise at making moves than the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No.
Come on, the only bad move you would easily criticize Ryan Poles for making, somehow they got a 2nd-round pick for Chase Claypool. Think about that. From a general manager that most people think is really good.
Come on.
And pulled off the trade of the century, getting the number 1 pick in this year's draft, plus DJ Moore, plus a 2nd-round pick next year, plus, the first in that draft. Crazy. They somehow should convince him, oh, yeah, it'd be a good idea to, for you to give us a 2nd-round pick for Chase Claypool. And now they get Justin Fields for nothing. And they sign Russell Wilson. They're taking advantage of other teams' problems. I mean, sign me up if I'm a Steelers fan. I get it. You have Mike Tomlin. You're kind of sitting outside the Super Bowl window right now, but God, there's only so many quarterbacks in this league that you can legitimately say, oh yeah, that's a Super Bowl champion. Some people think these guys grow on trees. Oh yeah, let's just go draft a Patrick Mahomes. Why can't we get that guy? Atlanta Falcons, no. They paid up the nose for Kirk Cousins. Like, if you don't have a quarterback that is capable, like, everybody's getting fired. That's just the way it is. Trust me, I'm a Bears fan. I know. And for them to come out of this offseason with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields for nothing is kind of unbelievable.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's like when you had Kenny Pickett, and I think, didn't they trade Kenny Pickett for a 6th this year?
Yeah, they pretty much traded Pickett for Fields straight up.
Yeah, they got better return for Pickett than the Bears got for Fields. I know that it's a compensatory pick, but
people are theorizing that because so there was a report from Diana Rossini that said the Bears passed up an opportunity to get a second for Justin Fields, and there is theorizing. There goes Aaron Rodgers.
That person.
I hate this draft.
They took the back too.
But they're theorizing that Justin Fields wanted to go to Pittsburgh, and that this was what polls meant when he said that they were going to do right by him. So there are people theorizing that they actively gave up quite a bit of value to send Justin to the situation that he preferred to go to.
And I'm telling you, if they had a 2nd-round pick on the table, they would have taken the 2nd-round pick.
Ran to the bank and taken it. Yeah,
they would have said, "Fuck you, Justin. We're taking the 2nd-round pick." That's what they would have said.
Oh, I'm gonna just lose my mind right now. This is why Underdog pisses me off. But go use promo code Underworld for $25 off your first deposit, or deposit match up to $25.
Yeah, throw the promo. Throw the promo in when you insult the company insulted the company that we are drafting on. Wonderful people at Underdog. I just hate their platform. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Jason, I have a question for you. I saw you absolutely pumped when you selected Jerome Ford, but you do already have Nick Chubb. Some people, not me, but some people in the best ball community would say that's a big no-no of handcuffing the running backs.
I mean, when I'm playing hero RB with Nick Chubb, I've got to handcuff him. I don't really care. I'm old school like that. I am so old school when it comes to fantasy football. And I'm doubling down on the ACL. I don't know if you saw my RB2 is Jonathan Brooks. So I really hope modern medicine has gone a long way, is all I'm saying with this team.
Jason's team is dependent on science.
Jonathan Brooks, I'm here to tell you right now, Massage Boy goes.
I thought you said he was terrible.
He is, but he's better than the other shit that's available right now.
Matt Babbage tilting.
Massage Boy.
Massage Boy. Get the lotion ready.
This is outrageous.
Oh.
And I have to have I guess I'm gonna go Kate Otten. This is just going down the tubes. And regardless, Jonathan Brooks, I'm here to tell you right now, be in on Jonathan Brooks, especially right now, because he's going to get higher draft capital than we think as of right now. I think he's going to the Cowboys because the Cowboys team doctor performed Jonathan Brooks's ACL surgery. Now, let's just say there are 2 other players that played last season that also had their ACL surgeries done by this doctor. We'll say that one's a quarterback that plays in the NFC South, and we'll say that others are running back that plays in the AFC East. Both of these players were more than ready to return to play early. And so if there's anybody who's going to be able to recover from surgery, it's going to be Jonathan Brooks in this class. So I'm fading any health concerns and buying Jonathan Brooks right now.
I feel so good about my team. I'm really not going to lie. I really hope this doesn't crumble.
I feel really good about mine as well.
I don't think I've ever felt this good about an underdog team.
Sativa is a wild card. I am very scared what this drafter could do to me right now.
Who are you hoping for?
Ricky Pearsall.
Love Ricky Pearsall.
Come on, baby. Yeah, take Fields. Have fun with that with your 3 quarterbacks.
I saw Justin Fields. My buddy's doing a startup right now, dynasty startup. Somebody took Fields in the 3rd round in a Superflex dynasty startup before the news broke. Before the news broke, so I guess they assumed that he would be going to a starting job or sticking with the Bears. I don't know. But man, I wish he would have called me before he made that pick, because I would have told him, don't do it.
Now,
Don't do it.
I don't know if there's anyone more probably in Bears Twitter more than you, but is it as crazy as I see on my Twitter, like all the Fields truthers out there?
Oh yeah. You have no idea, man. Like, it's Bears Talk Radio. I basically have Bears Talk Radio on every day just because I like David Kaplan and Jonathan Hood, like the hosts of the show. That there's probably nobody more tapped into Chicago sports than David Kaplan, or he's right up there, I would say. And it's like they blame David Kaplan because both of them are Caleb Williams guys. Like there was a tweet out there. I don't remember who sent it out, but it was just like, David Kaplan's responsible for the violence in these streets because of his Justin Fields take. It's just wild. It's just crazy. Anyway, and you would think that I'm making that up, but it's a real thing that they talked about on their show. So craziness. But yeah, it was about 50-50. Yeah, Bears, like Caleb Williams versus Justin Fields. So the battle lines were about even, so it wasn't like this, oh, for sure we need to draft Caleb Williams, like every other fan base thinks that we're going to do, because that's what we're going to do. Tyler, not happy.
What happened there?
I was going to take Kendre Miller at the discount of the century. 23 picks past ADP, but no longer. That's okay. We come with backup plans ready in this brain, and we're gonna go Khalil Herbert.
Wow! Imagine taking the wrong Bears running back. Couldn't be me. Proud Roshan Johnson rosterer.
I think Khalil Herbert's just like, when he plays. I mean, Seth, isn't he good when he plays? Like, his yards per carry is usually pretty good. I know he's in a crowded backfield, but could he get traded? Maybe, I don't know.
The problem, maybe he could get traded, but the problem is that DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert are very similar in the style that they play, and Roshan Johnson is the guy that they're going to bring in on third downs for pass protection because he's better. He's the best Bears running back in pass pro, which is why you need to go get. Oh shit, I'm on the clock. Oh, buddy, what do I want to do? We'll go with the Yak King. Why don't we go with that guy?
Thank God. Mayo boy.
Shoot.
I did that a pick early.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, does this person have any? They had Hopkins. They have Hopkins on their team.
I just knocked out. I'm knocking on wood.
This draft has Hopkins.
You already have a quarterback. What are you fretting about?
You got to have multiple. Like, you got to.
You're on the clock. You have 20 seconds to pick.
Well, dude, hey, you believed that Justin Fields wasn't going to start at all, so Russell Wilson's sitting pretty. Or do you press the Derek Carr, Bryce Young button? Oh, you could get J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy.
Hear me out, Matt. Here's the key to
player profiler before I take J.J.
Sam Darnold. Go with J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold. You get a starter.
Hunter Henry.
There's tons of good options.
You're not thinking about the Russell Wilson, Darnell Washington possibilities right now.
There's so many of them,
dude. If you got fantasy points for pancake blocks, then Darnell Washington's your guy.
Holy crap, man! What do I do? Derek Carr or Russell Wilson here? I'm going 3 quarterbacks now, or do I just not take any of them? That's also an option.
Who's your quarterback?
CJ
Carr.
Okay.
You don't need us.
You need. I go 3. That's my plan. I think you need 3. Especially, I don't know.
I'm probably good with 2, to be honest. I feel good about Josh Allen.
Oh, I hated that.
Why did you do that to me, Matt Babbage? That was my stack that I knew that you wouldn't draft, even though you drafted them. Like, how are we screwing each other over in this draft? Like, this is not
good. I'm the one who's been getting screwed all show. I can't believe I said Mayo boy before he fell to me. That's classic underdog. You can't.
I guess I'll take the old Jalen Warren, Russell Wilson stack.
Calvin Austin. Still there.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
No,
You know,
I'm
Arthur Smith loves
dumb.
these
I've been seeing Adonai Mitchell mock to the Steelers, and I drafted Mitchell.
guys.
So that would have been the play.
Maybe we can make a post Underdog draft trade.
People are watching this episode going, I really hope that guy doesn't spend too much money on Underdog. And don't worry, I don't.
Oh yeah, we get the steal in drafts right now is Jonnu Smith.
No, it's not.
Oh yes, it is.
Based on what?
Oh yes, it
Your
is.
Based
steal
on
of draft,
what?
your steal
Give
of
him
draft
the
last year
floor.
was
Based on
Marvin
the fact that
Jones.
Arthur Smith liked him.
Show
Give
us
him
your
the
Marvin
floor.
Jones exposure in 2023.
I don't know. If I could look it up, I would. I don't think I had that much.
I'm just not going to let you
Give
live
him the
down the
floor.
one.
Let's hear it.
Oh, you talking about the draft from last year? I forgot about that. But Jonnu Smith more athletic than Marvin Jones, debatably.
Debatably.
Here's my thing with Jonnu, right? Like they play a lot of 11, and Jonnu Smith, not a good like route runner. He's not like one of these good receiving tight ends per se. But if there's anybody who I'm going to trust to scheme up some yak, like dragging, put him on drags across the field where he'll just be wide open. He can use his running back like body to get some yards and get some touchdowns. It's Mike McDaniel. So I am so in on Jonnu Smith. He's probably he's like my second most drafted tight end. Let me double check real quick on that. Behind Evan Ingram is my most. Let's take a look here. Third most drafted tight end, tied for second actually with Jatavion Sanders. So
Are you worried at all about Jatavion Sanders 40 time, or do you think that's depressing his value right now?
I'm just more taking a chance on a tight end that's probably going to go day 2, like most likely to go day 2 at tight end 25 with Chigakonko and another tight end. I have 3 tight ends, but I really like Noah Fant too. I think he could. I really the Seattle OC hire is not really being talked about enough. I think Ryan Grubb's their new OC. He was the OC at Washington last year, and I saw a chart that was like passing volume and passing efficiency, and they were like highest on that chart and like both things. And granted they had really good receivers, a good quarterback last year and all that, but I don't know. I'm just kind of in on Washington and like that, or like Seattle and their passing attack and what it could be. And they gave Noah Fant some good money too. So
all right.
Oh, the Ray Davis truth, or let's bring him out.
I haven't taken Ray Davis in like probably 25 drafts, and he's still my most owned running back.
Who's he going to go to? Let's make a call out right now. Who's Ray Davis getting drafted to?
I have no clue, man. Honestly,
What team do you think deep down they're like, yeah, they're probably going to pick a guy like Ray Davis?
He's probably going to go day 3, which sucks, but I don't know.
He will. He will.
He's going to go day 3, but I don't know, man. I can't quit. I can't. It's like a. I've kind of come back down to earth a little bit, but like I kind of like 4.52 at his size, like wasn't a bad 40 time. I don't think he lost at the combine. I think he kind of stayed about where he was. I don't know. I probably should have took an estimate there, but only because you guys know I'm Ray Davis truthers, and like I said, I haven't taken him recently. I don't know why. Just I've been drafting, I think, more the other people in this range, but I don't know. So maybe I'm coming down on the Ray Davis hype a little bit. No longer my dynasty RB2 like he was 2 months ago.
That's high. That's way up there.
Yeah, if you're gonna be bold, you might as well go all out.
Yeah,
your rookie RB2 or your dynasty RB2?
Rookie RB2. Sorry.
Okay. I was like,
Damn.
Dynasty RB2.
He's the next Christian McCaffrey, baby.
Hey, so you see some of the receiving stuff? I don't know.
You started talking about Noah Fant, and I was like, oh my god, if Noah just gets drafted before me, I'm gonna actually just lose my mind.
Oh, you're okay. I thought you were trying to flame me because I was bringing up.
No. I love the Noah
okay.
Fant pick, and I saw Jason like really contemplating his pick. I started really freaking out. I love Will Shipley. How about? I think that he's, especially after his pro day, he's rising his draft stock a lot, and he's a guy I'm gonna want some exposure to here in both best ball and regular drafts.
You know what's disgusting? Look at the running backs after. It's like pretty much after like Dylan and like Bigsby. If you're kind of into Bigsby, it gets kind of gross really quick. Like you're like if you
already
don't
know
want to go
who
the
I'm
rookie
waiting on.
route, it's I don't know.
I'm waiting on someone. I would. That's what I was debating between last pick. So there's a running back I want. I'm ready to plant my flag if he falls to me.
Is it a rookie?
It is.
Yeah, I think I know who it. I have a guess of who it is, but I'm not.
No,
I think-
I'll reveal if I was wrong or right when you take that player.
that's not what I meant to do.
They better be there. Is all I'm saying.
You didn't want AJ Dillon?
I didn't really want AJ Dillon. No, I tried to draft Audric,
You just,
which
like,
I don't like that either. I didn't like anything about that pick. Like Hyatt, no. Burks, no. Waller, Okonkwo, no. McCarthy, no. Kraft, no. DeMarcus Robinson, no. I probably should have just went Javon Baker.
Yeah. Javon Baker. Where do we think Javon Baker is getting drafted in the real NFL draft?
I don't know.
I don't.
Anywhere, man.
feel like
I don't
there's a
know.
wide range.
But if the Chiefs don't take a wide receiver in the first round, which I think they're pretty much set on taking a wide receiver in the first round, if I had to guess. But you could do a heck of a lot worse than Javon Baker at the end of the third, as an outside receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And they just signed Hollywood Brown, right? So maybe receiver isn't as big of a need for them, even though I think it should be. You never know what these NFL teams are thinking.
What about sorry.
Go for it.
What about Tampa? Mike Evans on the way out. Get a guy like Javon Baker for your wide receiver 3 in the Baker Mayfield offense.
See, I would say yes, but Trey Palmer's there.
Florida. Oh, that's true. I mean, Trey Palmer was good, but I don't know. You never know.
He had some good games last year. Trey Palmer. I like Trey Palmer. I traded him away in a package so I could get another share of Darnell Mooney the other day, because Darnell Mooney's just criminally underrated in Dynasty right now. Criminal. I'm telling you. He's going to get 100 targets in this offense. I'm just.
I just like Rondale Moore a lot. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty even between the two, but I think it's going to be a lot more consolidated than some are suggesting. I really do think it's going to be the big 3 and some of these other guys mixing in.
What if the Falcons draft a receiver on day 2? Because as of right now, pending maybe draft picks being taken away, they have 3 day 2 picks. They have 1 second and 2/3.
I suppose, but why do you sign Darnell Mooney if you plan on drafting a wide receiver in day 2? I don't know. I guess it's hard.
Like for 3, you know. I don't know, but it's maybe a thought.
And what? Yeah, well, like, why do you trade for Rondale Moore? Like, for me, I would probably rather draft a wide receiver. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's Rondale Moore. It's not like he's making a ton of money, but I'm just saying, like, this is the Kirk Cousins last year was 4th in pass attempts per game. I want to say, let me look it up real quick. Stafford, with this OC, who was the quarterback coach, was 14th in team pass plays per game. And you think, oh, that's a huge margin, 4th to 14th, but it's a difference of 3 passes per game. So they're going to be, this offense is going to be passing the ball. And I know you got Bijan there. You have Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, now Rondale Moore. So there's the cliche. There's a lot of mouths to feed, right? But you're looking at 500-600 pass attempts, like minimum 500, probably 600 if I had to guess.
700,
800, 9. Like Kirk Cousins, how many passes in 2022? He had 643 pass attempts.
Yeah, I mean it's going to go around. I just don't. I think that Darnell Mooney isn't going to get like the 100 catches. That seems far.
Well, I said 100 targets.
100 targets.
100 targets. As your wide receiver 3, you could do a lot worse. Where did he go in this draft? Why didn't I draft him here?
He went a lot higher than he normally goes. I think it was 13th round, kind of around Wicks and Wilson. He was going. I mean, I got him for a couple of times because I was in on a lot of. I was drafting a lot of DJ Moore at the beginning of the contest, so I would like usually have a Chicago type stack. It's like, oh, I'll get Darnell Mooney, maybe he goes back to Chicago or sign somewhere else. But Yeah, he was going like 19th, 20th round, and like just right before he got signed.
Gotcha.
I picked
Yeah,
Sam Darnold, but I don't know. I don't know how I felt about that. It's just
that's my escape break glass in case of emergency quarterback this year, because look at all the weapons he has.
yeah.
And I like Kevin O'Connell as a coach. You know, I think Sam Darnold could. I mean, is he going to be great? No, but is he a good third quarterback for your best ball team? If you draft Justin Jefferson like you did, yeah, like why not in the 19th round? Makes a lot of sense.
So you're on the record saying JJ McCarthy's not going to start year one?
Who is on the record?
You. If Sam Darnold's a good best ball pick, then JJ McCarthy's not playing.
Yep. He shouldn't start year one.
Do you think it's a lock that McCarthy is a Viking?
At this rate, it's seeming like it. If you follow Thor Nystrom on Twitter, you'd bet you'd think the draft pick was already made.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and that's not a shot at him. It's just merely a joke. But like, it's all I'm seeing is the Vikings want McCarthy. So at this point, like, it's the only thing I can guess.
It's funny because the only thing, because I live in Minnesota, right? All my friends are Vikings fans, and the only thing I get sent in the group chat is Drake May. Drake May is going to be the savior.
Oh, he's a Patriot. You guys are just a little confused.
Is he 100% a Patriot?
He's a Patriot because Jaden Daniels is a Commander.
Yeah. But does New England trade is what I'm asking. Do they not trade? No.
You don't get the third pick of the draft in a draft that has 3 ironclad QBs and go, we'll try again. We'll try our hand at the lotto and see if we win it again. And then we'll take it.
What do you say to those who are like, you know, they don't got a lot around him and he's going to be bad. He's not going to develop well because they have nothing around him.
That could be true. I don't know. But I know you don't. If you're an organization and you have to ask yourself that, you're already fucked. But I don't think in the Gerard Mayo era, the first thing he's gonna do is vie to tank again and wait to put more things around him. They're gonna draft a receiver at the top of the second. It could be Adonai Mitchell.
See if
it could be Devontae Walker. They could draft Devontae. They could do the whole CJ Stroud thing, even though they weren't teammates.
So you're a Patriots fan, right, Matt?
That is correct.
So if I told you, okay, ring. It's who's the Vikings general manager?
Kwesi.
If Kwesi is calling you and he's like, hey Matt, we're going to give you, like, we want to come up to 3. We've got 11. We'll give you 11, 23, next year's first and second round pick if we can move up to 3 and take Drake May. Because that's who we're going to take.
Yeah.
Do you think Drake May is that good?
Thank you. Have a nice day. No, it's not about Drake May being that good. It's about everyone else being that bad. Who are we going to draft next year? What's the path to getting a franchise quarterback?
Sucking this year.
So we want to. You want me to bet on being bad enough again to maybe be in the top picks to get a guy that may be as good of a quarterback as Drake May or good of a prospect as Drake May? That sounds like a whole lot of maybes when I am sitting here at 3 and can take my shot on a franchise guy.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's real rough for a rookie quarterback.
I get it. But think about the coaching and front office perspective too. We're at the first steps with after the Bill Belichick era. If Drake May doesn't pan out within the first 2 years, you're 2 years into your regime and you did what everyone said you should do and just get your quarterback and try and figure it out. And now you buy yourself more time because then you get the next guy. You try and get the next guy. If you don't even get a franchise quarterback until year 2 or 3, you might already be fired. Like if the Patriots are still trying to figure out their quarterback and have no path forward in the next 2 to 3 years, Gerard Mayo's fired. I'll tell you that right now. He doesn't seem like a guy who's interested in waiting also.
Plus, the Vikings are a good team. That first isn't going to be that good next year. Their first isn't going to be that good next year either. Like they're probably going to be around where they always are, like around 500, flirting with the playoffs. Like it's not going to be a top 10 pick, I don't think.
I also think the Titans blindsided them with Calvin Ridley. I think the Patriots had the offer that was needed to get Ridley, and the Titans came in at the 11th hour and gave him something that they couldn't refuse. I don't know if I don't even know if they had time to run the offer by New England. They might have just seen those dollar signs and said, we will tell us where to sign. I do think that New England was shaping up, as the reports seem to indicate. New England was shaping up to sign Calvin Ridley, and that kind of threw a wrench in their plans. But we thought that CJ Stroud wasn't going to have a lot around him either. And I know there's no one on the Patriots team that can be a Nico Collins, but we keep talking about how talented this wide receiver class is. Just Bill's not in that building anymore. He's not coming through those doors. The N'Keal Harry days are over. They're going to try and find somebody in this draft that's talented.
Yeah, there's a ton of players. Like I'm telling you, like, obviously if there's a quarterback they believe in at pick number 3, which is probably going to happen, you have to take him. I'm just saying, like, the ideal situation for any rookie quarterback is what they have going in Minnesota right now with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and Hawkinson once he comes back from injury. You know, like if I'm JJ McCarthy, that's where I want to go, to sit behind Sam Darnold for a year, develop, and then take the reins from him in year 2. I'm just looking at the Commanders and the Patriots going, I don't know if Jaden Daniels or Drake May is that good. Jaden Daniels gives me Justin Fields vibes, maybe with a better arm. And man, I would be awful tempted if somebody gave me the Godfather offer to come up, because I'm going to suck this year. Why not suck with Jacoby Brissett and maybe a developmental prospect that I can
like
take,
Drake May,
like a Bo Nix in the second round or something.
Why can't we, like, we're acting like there's two worlds, right? You draft Drake May at 3 and you have to play him all season, or you draft Drake May and just let him develop and sit. What's the difference between drafting Drake May and letting him sit behind Jacoby Brissett or Bo Nix? Besides, one has a much higher rate of hitting.
Well, in that scenario, one of them would be throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. and the other would be
not this graphic again.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Jacoby Brissett, Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm just saying it is not a terrible idea for the Patriots to finally get out from under Bill Belichick's inability to draft a wide receiver. Get the most sure thing.
You can still do that.
You can though. You can get a quarterback. You can get a quarterback much easier than a franchise wide receiver in today's NFL. You can't. You can go sign Kirk Cousins. You can go get Justin Fields for a 6th-round draft pick. You could sign.
There are 15 franchise quarterbacks on the earth right now.
Yeah, and I mean, but look at how much money even like Calvin Ridley just made at 30 years old. Or what Keenan Allen just went for a 4th-round pick, more than Justin Fields and Kenny Pickett, right? Two young quarterbacks. You're telling me it's
easier to get a receiver.
No, it's not. You had to give a 4th to get 31-year-old Keenan Allen. But you can get Marvin Harrison Jr., a guy who's a sure thing, and just have your wide receiver. I mean, look for what Tyreek Hill went for. You know, like look for what T. Higgins might go for. Look at how much money Jamar Chase is probably going to earn. Like it's going to rival what Joe Burrow makes. And those types of wide receivers don't grow on trees. And I think you could get a serviceable quarterback that can manage the game with those types of weapons much, much easier than you can get a Marvin Harrison Jr.
I want to disagree and say T. Higgins does grow on trees, because we sit here every year going like, wow, there's like 5 or 6 receivers that I love. Fair. And every year, 2 or 3 of them vault T. Higgins in rankings. And second of all, T. Higgins, notable top of the 2nd round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why like drafting Drake May, drafting a receiver at the top of the 2nd round and letting Drake May learn under Brissett, who, by the way, I know is not like a prototypical, like really good guy, but understands how to run an offense and is capable of managing a game. And he has the types of traits that you will want your quarterback to absorb: the ability to make the clean play, not turn the ball over, sustain drives, trust your teammates, just put the ball in their hands, make the read. And I don't know. We have fundamentally different ways of how we would approach running this team. You know, I love the discourse, but I'm staying pat here.
Mm.
I think it's fair. I like even Matty Kiwoom's idea. They trade back from 3 and then get a Oshanu or the offensive tackle. And then who knows how they go from there. But I don't mind that idea either. But the answer is I don't think whatever quarterback you put in the system right now is going to be able to succeed very easily. And I think it's just going to be a confidence hit at the end of the day.
We don't know what the system is.
It's a system that's running Demario Douglas, KJ Osborne, Hunter Henry, and Tyquan Thornton right now. And
don't you dare besmirch Kendrick Bourne's name like that, sir.
Okay, fair. Or what about perennial underperformer Antonio Gibson? Like it's just
come on.
Slot receiver season coming in, right?
To be honest,
I actually kind of like that landing spot for Antonio.
That sounds like a team that is an alpha, like a true X away from being a fairly decent receiving core.
Exactly.
Like, insert X here, KJ Osborne and Demario Douglas.
Marvin Harrison Jr. And then, you get Spencer Rattler in the third, right? You get Spencer Rattler in the third. You could go Marvin Harrison Jr. and then you get Ladd McConkey maybe if he falls that far, which I don't think he's as much of a first round lock as some are suggesting. And then, get Spencer Rattler or something to sit behind Brissett. I don't know. I think there's some potential there with someone to learn behind Brissett for a little bit. I mean, it's a guy that's familiar with the offense and organization. I don't think he comes there if he doesn't feel he can play a little ball next year.
Hey, do any of you guys want to hop on my mock that's happening in 8 minutes over on my YouTube channel?
I have to go.
So we can continue this conversation over there because we probably need to wrap this up.
I have to go, but I'm in the mock, so I will participate.
I can also participate, but the camera presence is gone for me, Seth. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can fly solo if need be. I was just, you're having such a spirited conversation, and Matt. I mean, Matt's so sure that Drake May is the next franchise quarterback. I don't know.
I'm not so. Let me be very clear. I am not so sure he's the next franchise quarterback, but I am very sure that drafting him at 3 is what the franchise should do for their draft pick.
How did the Patriots not offer the Bears a 4th round pick?
Don't know. I don't.
I have no clue. I don't know.
Or the Commanders for that matter. Because I would honestly, and I'm gonna just say this right now for everyone to hear, all 500 people watching on Twitter and YouTube, supposedly. If these quarterbacks were in this draft, or if you made me choose between Justin Fields and his contract or making me pick Jaden Daniels, I think I would take Justin Fields and take my chances with Justin Fields.
I would too. I can
trade back. I can trade back from 2 and get 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, I have him for a year, and then I've got 2 first-round picks next year.
Yep.
In the
I
draft.
actually agree with that one because I think Jaden Daniels and Justin Fields are eerily similar.
Yes, they are.
The same thing that bit Justin Fields in the ass, the pressure to sack ratio, is the exact same thing that stands out for Jaden Daniels, and it scares the shit out of me.
It's eerily similar
if
because
May goes to trade back.
It's eerily similar because Justin Fields, look at all the weapons he had at Ohio State, Garrett Wilson. Or I'm probably gonna mix up the timeline, but there's so many. Chris Olave, I think, was there, right?
Yeah.
Amongst
Jameson
others,
Williams, Jackson Smith and Jigba, more even, I believe.
And now look at LSU. Brian Thomas Jr., who's going to be a first-round pick, and Malik Neighbors. He's throwing the ball too. So, I'm not saying you can't be good. I mean, obviously Joe Burrow was good with Justin Jefferson and Terrace Marshall and there's another guy I can't remember. But I'm not saying you can't be good, but it's so eerily similar that it freaks me out a little bit. But anyway. Well, fellas, should we briefly review the draft?
No.
I won.
No, Jason won. That's all you need to know. Let us know in the comments if you feel what should the Commanders do at pick 2. I think they should trade back, or the Patriots at number 3. I think they should trade back because I think if you put Vegas odds on it, like those are probably 1 and 2 is getting the number 1 overall pick next year. If I had to bet on it, like flip them which way you want to. But anyway,
I don't know. This time last year, Caleb Williams was an Arizona Cardinal, so
that is correct. Yes, that it sure looked that way, didn't it? Because Carolina had their franchise quarterback, and anyway. Well, that's going to do it for us. Any final words of wisdom before we hop off the stream here?
I still don't think anyone cares about Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. And Wiseman for Heisman. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, hold on. I'm going to hit the end screen first, like a proper broadcaster. All right. I'm going to hit this thing. And bye-bye, everyone.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to playerprofiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.